Morning, peeps. Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing? Hopefully, you guys are all doing well. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button. If you guys are new to the channel, don't forget as well to like and share the vids. All right, before we talk about some of the stories floating around today, we did get some sad news a couple of days ago, and that was that boxing journalist Ron Lewis had sadly passed away. His wife, I think it was his wife that put something out on his Twitter page on Friday, which came as a massive surprise and shock to everyone, just because we all saw him on Thursday at the AJ Franklin press conference, and he seemed in good spirits and good health. I'm not quite sure if there was underlying health issues, but yeah, sad news, massive blow for the boxing community, just because he was a fantastic journalist, very outspoken, would always say it how it was and how it is, would always ask the tough questions as well. So yeah, again, look, sad news that Ron Lewis has passed away. Sky done a nice little tribute to him yesterday, and I'm sure DAZN and Matchroom will do the same thing this coming Saturday at the Laurel Wood fight card. So yeah, honestly, massive blow. It's funny, when I sort of came into the boxing world, I was always intimidated by people like Ron Lewis and your Colin Harts and even your Gareth A. Davis, just because they were considered like, the real journos. But I'd always speak to Ron. He'd always give me time, always give me advice as well, always be a listening ear. I'm not going to pretend to you guys that I knew him that well, but I'd always could sort of seek him out for advice, and he'd always give it to me. So yeah, massive blow. And again, condolences to everyone that knew him, especially his wife. All right, let's see what stories that are floating around today. Let's start with this one. I haven't watched a fight, but Foster beating Vargas to claim the WBC super featherweight title. It's a big turnaround for Foster, a really big turnaround. You think he lost a couple of fights, I think about 3-4 years ago, maybe a bit longer. And everyone kind of maybe thought that was that. He had a stint in prison. Obviously, Ray Vargas, 36-0, 2-weight world champion, favourite to win the fight. It was always going to be a close fight, but Vargas was favourite to win. And not so. Foster wins. And now, I mean, if you're Foster, you're looking and saying, okay, what's going to happen with Rakhimov, Joe Cordina? Like, he should want all the big fights now. He should want to unify and try and become undisputed. So look, big win. I will watch it. I haven't watched it, but big win for Foster over a very good Ray Vargas. Barrios got a win as well. Stops the rot a little bit. Beat Santiago. Stopped him in 8, I believe. Good win for Barrios. Obviously, look, coming off the losses against no scrubs in Javante and Keith Thurman, but you do want to stop that skid, and he stopped it. Over here, there was obviously a fight card headlined by Adam Azim. It's interesting that Sky are obviously going really big on Adam Azim, and look, I like it. I like to see what the Sky Sports machine can do, and they are pushing him. He went the distance, I think, for the first time. Some people have said the performance was a bit not one-paced, but maybe him not trying different things, maybe just sticking to the same thing all the time. I don't think there's anything wrong going the full 10 rounds early in your career. It shows that you can do it. It shows that you have the gas tank to do it as well. Sky have gone big with him, so because of that, criticism's going to come regardless of sort of the fact that he got the W, because people like to see him blow people out. And if he doesn't do that, there are going to be questions asked. But look, I have nothing. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, no one's going to remember that. If he goes on to do good things and they're expecting him to go on and do good things, no one's going to remember that. You know what? In his 8th fight, he went the distance. He's obviously going to go back, not go back to the drawing board, but him and Shane will have a look at that performance and just work on a few things, and that's it. I saw Josh Taylor tweet something about hype job, and obviously he's referring to Adam Azim, which I think's harsh. I mean, Josh Taylor, look, experienced pro. There's no need to attack a young kid coming up like that. I don't think there is anyway. I'm trying to think who Josh Taylor fought on his 8th. Look, Josh Taylor was moved early. Don't get me wrong. Josh Taylor was undisputed. So I'm not comparing the two, but Josh has got to look at who he fought in his 8th fight and who Adam Azim fought, and maybe think that, it's not going to be easy early. It's not. Sticking with Josh, let's jump to this story straight away. Obviously, look, Josh Taylor hasn't fought since that Jack Catterall controversial win over a year ago. There's been so many false storms with him and Jack getting that fight on again. Josh Taylor's lost a few of his belts. And now it looks like Josh Taylor's not going to fight Jack Catterall and is instead going to fight Teofimo Lopez. It's interesting for a couple of reasons here. Number one, I spoke to Ben Shalom about 2 months ago, and we spoke about the Josh Taylor Jack Catterall fight, and he said, look, all Josh wants is to fight Jack Catterall, and he said he wants it so badly that he turned down a big money fight against Teofimo Lopez. I was like, okay, that's interesting, because look, Josh Taylor Teofimo Lopez is a big fight. We'll get to that in a second, but he said he turned down the Teofimo Lopez fight, big money by the way, to make sure that he gets this, I don't want to say revenge over Jack Catterall, but Josh know he lost that fight. He must know he lost that fight. He lost that fight. And now it looks like he's going to skip Jack Catterall, right? Jack Catterall's actually fighting March 25th. He's going to skip that. We know he's injured right now, but when he comes back, he's not going to go Jack Catterall, which he says he was going to do, which, again, so many false dawns in the last 12 months. He instead is going to have Teofimo Lopez instead. And Teofimo Lopez, by the way, is going to come to the UK. That's what we're hearing. Now, look, I think the Josh Taylor Teofimo Lopez fight is it's a bigger fight. It is a bigger fight than Jack Catterall. There's no two ways about it. Teofimo Lopez is a bigger name, brings bigger star value. It's a bigger win on the Josh Taylor CV if he does get the W. It's just all around a bigger fight worldwide, right? Josh Taylor Jack Catterall is a bigger fight for us over here in the UK, but as a worldwide fight, Josh Taylor Teofimo Lopez is much bigger, way bigger. But you can't help feel that Jack Catterall's been screwed here. You can't help feel that. I think people need to remember as well, when Josh Taylor went for undisputed against Ramirez, it was Jack Catterall that took step aside. Jack Catterall stepped aside to allow Josh Taylor to fight Ramirez for undisputed. And Jack obviously got his shot against Josh, but look, we all know what happened there. Jack won and he got screwed over. I just find this, if it was a case of the fight has been delayed all this time because of Jack Catterall and his injuries, then okay, Josh, move on. But it's been Josh. Every time this fight's been scheduled or delayed even further, it's on the side of Josh. Nothing to do with Jack, as far as I know. And now all of a sudden, again, this time now, it's Josh's fault again. All of a sudden, you're not going to come back and fight me, who I've been waiting for you for 12 months. You're going to fight Teofimo Lopez. What? Honestly, it's unfair. It's really unfair. I'm still very, very upset about that decision over 12 months ago, because that changes your life. If Jack Catterall gets the decision, as he should have done 12 months ago, it changes his life. He's undisputed. You could never, ever take that away from him. He's undisputed in the next fight, whether it be a rematch against Josh Taylor or anyone else, a Pro Gray, a Teofimo, a Ryan Garcia, whatever it is. The next fight, you're making 7 figures. Fact. You're making 7 figures, right? Because everyone's going to want to go at those belts. You're making 7 figures. A bit like Kambosos. It's a bit like that with Kambosos, Devin Haney. Doesn't mean you're going to win those fights, but your next fight, you're cashing in. And he misses that opportunity. And the least he can get is, okay, Josh, let's run it back. But no, we're not running it back anymore. I've been waiting for you for 12 months. We're not running it back? Oh, no, what, you're fighting Teo? So what have I been waiting for 12 months? I can understand why Jack Catterall's a bit peeved off here. Now, look, there is a lot of people saying, yeah, but Jack Catterall's going to get the Pro Gray fight. And look, that's not a bad second, right? It's not a bad little runner-up prize, if you like. But it's not Josh Taylor. There's something there about that Josh Taylor fight that it's an itch that needs to be scratched, and scratched big time. But look, hopefully he gets the Pro Gray fight. Hopefully that's a done deal, and the winners fight each other. That's an ideal scenario, right? Teofimo fights Josh, Pro Gray fights Jack, and the winners fight each other. But look, to be honest, I don't actually give Jack much chance against Pro Gray. I give him a good chance against Josh because I've seen it and I've seen him beat Josh. So I think he's got a good chance again. Although I would have favoured Josh in a rematch because I do think there's a part of Josh that maybe underrated him. But the fact is he beat him. All right, enough of that. Let's get to the Josh Taylor Teofimo Lopez fight. Fantastic. Now, fantastic for a couple of reasons. Number one, I'm hearing the fight's going to happen in the UK. I said this about Butterby of Yard the other day. It's so good to see some of the bigger names come over here. We started to see it a little bit. It's still, I want to see more of it, but we're starting to see it a little bit. The big names are coming over. Number two, for Josh Taylor, I mean, it continues this run of name after name after name after name. Like Josh Taylor's CV, whether you like him or not, and I know a lot of people don't like him, his CV is incredible. It really is. And look, having watched both of them recently, Teofimo against Sandor Martin, and Josh Taylor, who's been out the ring for a long, long time now, against Jack Catterall. I have no idea who's going to win. Like before, I would have said Josh. I think Josh has got a bit too much, just too much, too much grittiness, too much skill, bit of everything. To be fair, to beat Teo. Now though, I'm not quite sure. Josh, we know, struggling at the weight. Doesn't help when you've not been in the ring for a year. Teo seems to be struggling mentally. But look, I like the fight. I really do. It's a fantastic fight. It'll do good numbers. It will do a good arena as well, whether or not that's up in Scotland or anywhere. Manchester, O2, it will do good numbers. So, look, I do like the fight. I can't help but feel sorry a little bit for Jack Catterall. Again, you've missed out on becoming undisputed, and you've missed out on fighting what is now turning into your nemesis. And the reward for that is Prograis. Look, it's a world title fight with Prograis, but again, it's not the same. It's not the same, but it is a good runner-up prize. I'll give you that. Zach Chelli beat Anthony Sims over 10. I'm not as surprised as many about this. The reason being, Anthony Sims fought in a small hall show in America a few months back, and Barack was there from Akam Barack, the DAZN boxing show, and Anthony Sims didn't look good. And I remember reaching out to Barack, and I'm like, Barack, how did he look? And Barack was like, not good at all. So as much as Anthony Sims talks the talk, and unfortunately, for some reason, I'm not quite sure what's happened, but the decline has happened quickly for him. It's happened quickly. And this isn't to take away from Zach Chelli. You've got to give him his plaudits. But, I mean, Anthony Sims isn't what Anthony Sims was 4 or 5 years ago when Matchroom picked him up. He's not that fighter anymore. So, I'm not quite sure what they do now with Anthony Sims. It's going to take a long time for him to get, I think, another big opportunity. I mean, he might, because, again, he's a very good talker, good-looking kid. But I'm not quite sure if he's going to get that big one now. I'm not sure at all. Anything else? I'm sure there is. I just seen this was announced. Well, not announced, but everyone's saying it's a pretty much done deal that Canelo will fight John Ryder, and they're going to go to Mexico and have that fight, and it's going to happen in May. Now, I did speak to Eddie Hearn, and I kind of, when I spoke to Eddie, I talked about this 8-fight card that DAZN announced. And I was like, what's going on? What's going on with Canelo? He said, yeah, Canelo's going to be announced soon, and Bivol's going to be announced soon. So it looks like this is the Canelo one. For John Ryder, man, I mean, geez. I mean, look, you're getting paid. That's the good thing. You get a chance at pound for pound, top 6, top 7. You get a chance at becoming undisputed. I mean, but that would have been the last option. Mexico would have been the last option. There was talks about Vegas, Madison Square Garden. There was talks about Emirates Stadium. There was talks about Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, O2 Arena, Middle East, Mexico. The last one on there. But look, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And he's going to get paid well. When, you speak to these boxers, as much as, we talk about sort of fighting home and fighting away, boxers always say it's a ring. Once you get in there, it's a ring. But Mexico, man, those fans, those fans are intimidating. He's going into the lion's den. What's worse than the lion's den? I don't know. Alligators, crocodiles, dinosaurs. That's what he's going into. But good luck to him on that. I'm sure they're going to announce it very, very soon. Team Beterbiev, our only interest is Bivol. 4th bout was all we're missing. I wonder if any conversations have been had between the teams as yet. I do wonder. This Bivol thing seems to be stalling as to what Bivol's doing next, isn't it? I mean, I think it will be Buatsi. I think we're going to hear an announcement about Bivol Buatsi very, very soon. Now, Callum Smith is mandatory for the WBC. I'm not quite sure who the other mandatories are for Beterbiev's belts, but Callum Smith's fighting in March. I mean, if there are conversations, you could do it. You could do Bivol Beterbiev in the summer. You could do it. The only big problem is I can't don't expect DAZN to want to allow Bivol to fight on a top rank card. They've almost got to stop doing this. There's a lot of talk about, and we'll do a separate video about this, like the Ryan Garcia, Gervonta Davis fight is done. And by the way, when I say stop doing this, from a fan's perspective, I don't care where the fight is. But from a DAZN business perspective, I mean, it's a bit, you don't want to keep doing this. I mean, there's Ryan Garcia, Javante. That looks like it's going to go to Showtime. So you've built Ryan up, all this, and it looks like he's going to go Showtime. The rematch probably will go DAZN, but the fact is, it's a Showtime production. What other ones? Devin Haney. You built Devin Haney up, right? Devin Haney had, what did he have, 5 or 6 fights on DAZN. All of a sudden, his next fight is undisputed on, again, Top Rank, ESPN, fighting George Kambosos. Surely you don't build Bivol up, give him the Canelo fight, the Ramirez fight, and then his next fight is fighting undisputed on Top Rank. Like, surely you can't keep doing this. Or maybe they can. I don't know. Martin Bacoli aims to get mandatory crack at Daniel Dubois, says Shalom. Mandatory crack for a regular belt doesn't even make sense for me. It's like all those words there shouldn't be in the same sentence. I like the fight. I don't know if Team Daniel Dubois will take that fight. I'm not quite sure. Bacoli dangerous. But I mean, look. I mean, I know he's built himself back up. Bacoli did get sort of iced by Michael Hunter. Like, really got bust up on that one. So he can be beaten. I mean, this isn't an unbeaten fighter. He can be beaten. But so can Daniel Dubois. So, yeah. Eddie Hearn on Smith springing the upset over Eubank. Liam Smith is a much better fighter. Yeah, he is. Much better boxer. I think that's the right term. Yeah, you know what it is, though? It's easy to say after. I mean, to be fair, a lot of people were saying that Smith had a great chance, but it's easy to kind of say, oh, yeah, you know, he's a better boxer. We expected that. No one expected that. It does look like Eubank's going to roll the dice again, though, for the rematch. It's not going to go Anfield. It's going to probably go... It's too big for the Echo Arena, so you're probably looking at the Manchester Arena again, the AO Arena. All right, I think that is it. Oh, this is a good fight. Denzel Bentley versus Kieran Smith has been added to the Joyce Zhang card. That card looking pretty good. That's a good fight. I like that a lot, actually. Anything else? Stevenson. All right, we'll end on this one. Shakur Stevenson believes that Lomachenko has lost a step. His last fight, he looked terrible. Devin smokes him. Devin ain't... No one... Why did people... No one's smoking Loma. Like, you're not smoking him. He looked bad. I admit he looked bad his last fight, but you're not smoking him. It's not... No. It's not happening. I actually think that him looking bad his last fight has actually helped him a little bit, because he was bad, and now he knows he was bad, so there's a couple of things he needs to go back and work on. But yeah, no one's smoking no one. Guys, all right, before we wrap, Sunday session live tonight, unfortunately we cannot do. The only reason we cannot do it is because I'm going to TalkSport now. I finish at 5, and then I've got to come back and get an 8 o'clock train to go up to Liverpool. I'm covering the Merseyside derby tomorrow for TalkSport, so I've got to stay up there tonight to start work tomorrow morning. It's going to be a long day tomorrow, so unfortunately we can't do a Sunday session live. Apologies. I am working on getting a guest in for Wednesday. I do want it to be punch perfect. We'll see if we can get that done. It's just a case of my schedule. Wednesday is literally my only day off next week. But we'll see what we can do. All right, anyway, peace and love.